Welcome to SHA, the Sound Healers Association, founded by Jonathan Goldman in 1982, bringing education and awareness of the use of sound and music for healing and transformation. SHA features presentations by founding pioneers in the modern sound healing field, and we have a sound healing directory allowing you to list your work or find practitioners and teachers. There's a monthly online meeting, a blog, a vast resource of articles, and much more. SHA, the Sound Healers Association, is dedicated to bringing harmony to the world of sound.
Okay, here we go, and we're jumping in now. And again, I'm Steve Farrell with Humanities Team. I'm here in Boulder, Colorado. I live near my dear friend Jonathan Goldman and his wife Andi, and it's my pleasure to be here just to introduce Jonathan and Andi as this program starts. So, and of course, this is a Sound Satsang, and it's a monthly program now that Humanities Team is really grateful to be producing each and every month with Jonathan and Andi. So thanks for being with us. I think you're going to have a fantastic time. Let me just want to read a brief introduction here as we get started. So Jonathan and Andi Goldman are a powerful pair in the world of conscious living and sound healing. Jonathan is an internationally recognized authority, pioneer, and author in sound healing. Andi is a licensed psychotherapist who utilizes holistic treatment and sound healing. Both are highly respected leaders in the sound healing and spiritual music community. Andi and Jonathan have co-written 2 books together, Chakra Frequencies and The Humming Effect. And again, I'll just share, when we came out a moment ago, Jonathan and I were sharing that sound healing is really taking off as it should, because it is, as we're creating conscious living in the world, sound healing is a big role. It's an incredibly useful device. And you're looking at the man here, Jonathan Goldman, who got this whole thing started, he was called to it at an early age, and hooray, thank God he was, because look where sound healing is today. And my pleasure, Jonathan, to turn this over to you.
Hello, thank you, Steve, and welcome everyone. I'm Jonathan Goldman.
Hi, and I'm Andi Goldman.
And we are truly blessed to be doing tonight's December 21st, Winter Solstice, Sound Satsang. And we want to thank, first of all, everyone who has come here and been part of this experience. It's going to be just really a wondrous exploration of the realms of consciousness, of sound, light, and love. And we want to thank Steve Farrell and Humanities Team, and Garth, Nasiri and the Sound Healers Association, and Alex Sims. And this is my beloved wife and partner, Andi, and she is joining me tonight. You are indeed. And Andi,
Yes.
Take it away.
Oh, well, Jonathan, I'd like to share what we are going to be covering tonight. The topic of tonight's Solstice Sound Satsang is the holy sounds of light for the holy days. And Jonathan has created a beautiful video, especially for the program tonight, to really highlight these holy days and the sounds of light. We will be sharing that, and then I'll be talking about the energies of the solstice that are happening right now. And after that, we will do a guided global sound meditation. And tonight, specifically, to bring in the love and light of this potent time, setting intentions for the year ahead. And hopefully we'll have time for a couple of questions and answers at the last bit of our program. So take it away, Jonathan.
All right, so indeed, this is a Sound Satsang. For those who may be joining us for the first time, Satsang basically either means discourse, teachings, or community. We are all of the above. And it's just a blessing. And we have, this is the sixth Sound Satsang that we've done. The first one was on the June, I guess, 21st or whenever, which was the summer solstice. So here we are at the winter solstice, 6 months away. And we've been, talking about how sound can heal, why sound can heal, all sorts of things, the importance of intention, the importance of silence, the importance of vibration, our uniqueness. Last month, we dealt with the sounds of gratitude, and this one, we're dealing basically with the sounds of light. Now, this is not the same thing as a relationship between sound and light, but rather how sound could potentially manifest light. Now, what does that mean? We'll find out.
Oh, and in fact, talking about light and this time of the year, there are so many traditions that celebrate the solstice, in this time of the year. We have Christmas coming up, and that, of course, is the Christian tradition, and we have the Star of Bethlehem. Right now, we're right in the middle of Hanukkah, which is the festival of light. We have got, it is said that the Buddha was illuminated with enlightenment this month of December. We have got the Japanese New Year, which is Shogatsu. We have Chinese New Year. We also, of course, will be really focusing on the energy of the solstice and the light that the solstice is bringing in.
And we realize, of course, that we're in, I guess, whatever hemisphere it is, where this is the winter solstice for us, and we honor, acknowledge our brothers and sisters in the other part of the hemisphere who are, I guess, operating with the summer solstice for them. So blessed be. Time and space are really interesting. So here we have indeed these different holidays, holy days, and it's, in particular, the solstice really has huge emphasis in what could be considered, I guess, I hate to use the word pagan traditions, but really on a level we can perceive of it metaphorically as a time when as we go from greatest darkness into the beginning of light, which is what happened today. We had an extraordinary experience at our wonderful wildlife sanctuary. We were doing some ritual there. And it basically, in certain traditions, you can metaphorically think of it as being the birth of some sort of sun entity happening from the earth goddess. And indeed, in different traditions throughout the planet, there's, for example, Yule, which is a Germanic origin celebration happening around now. There were the Roman festival of Saturn. In ancient Greece, there was the celebration of Prometheus, who brought fire, i.e. light, to man. In the Chinese New Year of Dogon, as you were mentioning, the Buddha received enlightenment, and Native American traditions. For example, in the Lakota, we have a dear friend who's doing a Lakota sweat lodge tonight to celebrate the solstice, and the Pueblo Indians also do different solstice rituals. This is just a small, if you like, touch. And what's so interesting is that there are all these ancient architectural structures that are really geared and focused and aligned to the solstice energy. Stonehenge in England, the pyramid at Chichen Itza, Newgrange in Ireland, the Temple of the Sun in Peru, and the Temple of Karnak in Egypt, just to name a few. So it's really an amazing phenomenon that the ancients, they probably were pretty good astronomers.
And probably astrologers.
And probably pretty good astrologers too. So it's interesting. This is just a hugely powerful day, that it's obviously a day where we are going now. We have begun, and is going to talk a whole lot more about the, if you like, vibrational energetics of what's been happening today. But we have gone from the deepest moment of darkness, and we're slowly beginning to feel the light. Remember, we could just actually, as we were doing that, we were just, happening.
Yeah.
And
Jonathan, why is you know, this is the time of the year where all of these traditions are focused on light. What is it about light that is so important?
Yes, light. So, I mean, this is so interesting because on a level, I guess you could say that we need light to literally thrive and survive on the planet. Number one, on a physiological level, light physically enhances our immunity. And indeed, we really like to physically get sunlight into our body for various reasons. You know, we know about different vitamins and different things, but also light being encoded into us on a cellular level. So very, very important to, number one, enhance our immunological system. That's one of the things that light does. And light also seems to really activate and energize us and make us more happy. Is that such a term, more
More
happy?
happy, that sounds good.
I mean, as a
Yeah.
psychotherapist,
Well, you know, what comes to my mind is, of course, as a psychotherapist, I'm very familiar with seasonal affective disorder, and that is when we don't get enough light coming into our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. And also, you know, Jonathan, I'm remembering too when we see pictures of saints and holy people, we'll see a glow of light over their head, you know. So there's light is part of our world. It's part of
right,
a
right, right.
necessity of living.
You know, the luminosity of the auric fields and the chakras and all these different things, which uh, one of the things that we do when we have a subject, we kind of research this, and for sure, the aspect of light being manifested through the auric field or whatnot is not yet scientifically validated, at least in traditional methods, but we know it's true. And I think that one of the things that I'm going to bring this up now and then probably bring it up later, but it's the importance of the pineal or pineal gland, which is, you know, located over here and also related the pineal and the pituitary, but because they sit and they work with each other. But the pineal is probably a bioluminescent organ because it projects melatonin. It really works to help generate light into our energy field. And this is very, very important. So once again, the pineal gland.
Hmm.
Andi.
So Jonathan has created a beautiful video, especially for the program tonight, called The Sounds of Light for the Holy Days. And what he did, he took a lot of the sounds from a CD that he recorded last year called The Sounds of Light, which I'm happy to say won 4 Visionary Awards this year. But he took Sounds of Light and created this gorgeous video with these visuals. Jonathan, there's so much that went into this. Please share with how
Well,
you did that.
I'd like to share this because I think it's important to know what you're going to be listening to, and the visuals are wondrous, but the sounds are, I think, really, really important. And I'd like to start by saying that one of the things that I've discovered in my many years of working with sound, particularly working with sacred sound, I learned that sacred sounds from different traditions like to resonate together. They like to live together. They work together really well. So for this recording, which I call Sounds of Light, which is mostly from the Sounds of Light album, there's, first of all, we have the divine name, which basically is a universal sound that is composed of harmonically related vowel sounds that go from the crown, taking the energy down to the root, and then back up again. And in, you know, traditional Abrahamic traditions, it's known as the tetragrammaton. And it's very powerful. Then we have the Vajra mantra, which in the Tibetan tradition is really big in purification. It's the Om Ahom. And in this one, the Om resonates, the crown center, the Ah, the throat center, and the Hum in the heart center. This is done by our dear beloved Lama Tashi, one of the great chant masters of the planet. So we have that then follows. And then, well, I'll tell you a really quick story. Many years ago, more than 20 years ago, I was in a dream, and in the dream, I was having some real major difficulty. And all of a sudden, I began chanting this mantra that I didn't know about, but the mantra manifested light and dissipated the darkness. And I woke up chanting this, and I went, wow, I had never heard it. They were Hebrew vowel sounds, or no, they were Hebrew consonants. Try that again. And it was Yod, He, Shin, Vav, He. But I had never heard of this before. And then I basically inquired with some people who are, shall we say, involved in magical traditions. And they said, oh, that's called the Pentagrammaton, the 5-letter name of the divine. It's said to basically be a way of embodying and manifesting the Christ light, which I thought was very cool. And that they said it was one of the most powerful purification mantras on the planet. So I put that there along with a series of frequencies that have now become known as either the solfeggio or whole tones. But at the time that I did it, there was simply a sequence of 9 tuning forks that had very, very strange and interesting sounds. But when they were done as a series, it felt like they created this incredible field, that the entire series, when done together, created this field that manifested and generated light. So I put that together in a recording called Holy Harmony. So this features a little bit of Holy Harmony as well. And finally, I'm just going to suggest that just to sort of honor, if you like, the traditional Christmas time, I have a little bit of a recording from Sounds of Light called Chimes of Rebirth. And it sounds a whole lot like the
Carol of the Bells.
Carol of the Bells
yeah.
at the very beginning and very, very end of it. So there's that. And I'm going to thank my dear friend, Dr. David of the Light Party, who basically had his very nice visuals for this. So when you watch this and listen to it, be prepared to really get into a very, very high consciousness state. It's very, very powerful. And somebody is suggesting that the sound might be low. There's not much that I can do about this, but we'll trust that our blessed man behind the curtain, Garth, is doing the best that he can. And in the interim, I'm going to also suggest that as we experience the Sounds of Light recording, that you literally become aware of the encodement of light within yourself, because that's what this recording is designed to do, basically to initiate through the sacred sounds of different traditions an encodement of light within your energy field, so you can breathe in the light and feel it in every cell of your being. So that is the purpose, and we're going to be now, it's about 7 minutes long. Enjoy this listening experience, this viewing experience. Find yourself encoding light and love through sound. We'll see you soon. And here we are
Mm,
back. Wow.
thank you for that, Jonathan. That certainly put me in a deep state.
It put me in a very deep hypnagogic state.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was going to be able to speak after that. And I would like to suggest to anybody who's having difficulty with that, um, apologies for any sort of sound difficulty on the Sounds of Light recording. And you can find all this stuff on the Jonathan Goldman official YouTube site if you want to experience that. And we also have something on our Healing Sounds website if you want to hear it, because the sound is really great.
Yeah.
And that's really an important aspect of it. But I want to just use that as a tool to basically help bring us into a place where we can, when we do the global guided OM, we can even be further enhanced, because the process of projecting healing sounds is a multifoliate one. And I think the next aspect that we're going to be doing, I trust that you were able to feel some encodement of light into your consciousness through those very, very sacred sounds from the, Kabbalistic, Hebrew, Judeo-Christian, Tibetan tradition. And talking about light, well, let's talk
Well,
about today.
well, indeed, Jonathan, thank you for that, because that was truly the sounds of light for the holy days. There were so many textures in that. And of course, today is the solstice, and I would love to talk a little bit about it is happening right now as we speak. As Jonathan mentioned earlier, of course, we are in the northern hemisphere, so it is the winter solstice. And it did occur, well, it occurred for us here in Colorado. We're in the mountain time zone at about 2:45 today, actually at 2:48 p.m. So you can adjust your time zone. But we are in the energy of the solstice. And, it is such a significant time of the year for so many traditions and cultures. And today there's all kinds of rituals and ceremonies and festivals and celebrations. And so it truly is the beginning of the return of the light. It's the beginning of a new cycle. And in fact, the Latin word for solstice actually means the sun stands still. And so today, at that moment, the sun stood still, and now it is beginning to emerge. And so we are going from the darkest night of the year, the time of the year where we have the most dark and the least amount of light. And all that today is now beginning to shift. And one of the things that I like to do during this time of light and dark is honor both the light and the dark that resides in all of us. And this, Jonathan, I loved hearing all of those sounds of light, because for me and for many people, this time is such a time of stillness and reflection, and really going deep within our own spirits and connecting with our inner guidance. And it's a time that there's a great deal of opportunity for renewal and for restoring our lives. It's interesting, because when we look at nature and we look at that divine rhythm of nature, now when we look out, it's on the surface pretty much looks like the growth has stopped. It has ended. But underneath that surface, new growth is beginning. There are new cycles of growth that are happening. And when we think about that metaphor of nature with our own lives, one of the things is what growth is being sparked in you deep in that deep part of your self. And so utilizing this time really to think about, wow, well, what do I want to create? This is such a beautiful time for setting intentions and for manifestation. And of course, nature is that reminder that the moment that that daylight begins to grow, which it is doing right now, it reminds us that even in our darkest moments, there is always that spark of light. There is always that hope. And to know that that spark of light is always there and it's always available to us. And the solstice, it really is a time of rebirth, transformation, new beginnings. And in those new beginnings, it gives us pause to think, what is it that we want to let go of? What is no longer serving us? What do we want to release out of our lives? And what is it we want to bring in to our lives to start anew? So in this time of deep reflection, it really is a beautiful opportunity to set intentions and to set those intentions with the highest consciousness that we can. And speaking of intentions and the potency of this solstice energy, we also have coming up in 2 days, on the 23rd of December, we have a new moon. And that new moon is a super new moon. So the energies that are on our planet right now and will be continuing on are extremely high, potent, high frequency. And so it really gives us an opportunity to step up our consciousness and to set those intentions with the highest frequency, all of those high levels of love and compassion. And it's a time for healing, not only ourselves, but the healing of the planet. And what I really like is that let us use this portal of this very powerful, powerful time to set those intentions, to bring in more compassion, more gratitude, more loving kindness to everyone around us. And shortly, we are going to be guiding the group through our global sound meditation. And I just want to mention that it really is a potent time. And so before we start the meditation, really tune into yourselves and set those intentions that really upgrade our capacity to keep our hearts warm and to bring in that compassion and love for everyone.
For everyone. Beautiful. Thank you, Andi. That was just great. I am very soon, we're going to be doing our global guided Om, our sonic meditation, which incorporates, among other things, heart-brain coherence. And just a quick note on that, when the brain and the heart and the brain are in coherence together, they amplify our electromagnetic field magnificently. And then when you add the power of intentionalized sound to that, you create a phenomena that is just beyond measure, if you like. So we're going to be doing that. And each time we do this, even though we are separated and perhaps just projecting into the ethers, you can feel the absolute resonance that occurs as we work with our love and our light through sound. And I'm going to just suggest also that as we work to heal the planet, this is a perfect time, wonderful time for working with personal manifestation and planetary manifestation. So I just wanted to basically suggest.
Before we do, I
Yes.
want to also just mention quickly that in our guided meditation, as we guide you through it, there'll be a section where we will be sounding forth with a series of ohms. And we do invite you, no matter where you are, if you're with other people, if you're by yourself, doesn't matter, but sound forth those ohms with us during that time.
Right, and then at the end of the ohms, we'll be in silence. There'll be some very, very powerful sounds that are there that you can travel on. And this is particularly a time to meditate and focus on your intention. And I'd like to suggest that we just take a couple of nice deep breaths. And as we do this, we focus on what we would like to manifest on this winter solstice or summer solstice, wherever you are, and also for the new year coming up. So think about this, manifesting in greatest light and love for personal and planetary healing. What would you like to manifest at this really auspicious time? And now, Garth?
The purpose for this meditation is to project a sound encoded with the energies of light and love and project healing to the Gaia matrix, our beloved planet Earth. We will first create coherence between our heart and our brain. This effect will further be amplified by the power of the Om that you will be toning along with later, bringing more light and love into your body, mind, and spirit for health and wellness. And now, begin to focus on your breathing. Breathing in and breathing out. Slowly breathing in and out. And as you're breathing in and out, imagine or visualize that you're breathing in and out through your heart. As you're breathing in and out through the area of your heart, remembering that it is love that breathes each breath. And it is love that causes each beat of our heart. Continue breathing slowly, breathing in and out in this manner. And now, I'd like you to call to mind something that has brought you a great deal of appreciation, gratitude, something that you are feeling very good about. This might be an experience with another person. Perhaps it's a beautiful sunset. It may be a beloved pet, a spouse. But it is something that has brought you loving kindness and gratitude and appreciation. And as you're breathing in and out through your heart, feeling this appreciation, feeling this gratitude, you're creating a beautiful coherence between your heart and your brain. And your heart, through this coherence, is expanding, getting larger and larger, and connecting with all the heart and loving energy on our planet in this moment. This is just a wonderful way of creating a very powerful heart activation, and you'll be amplifying this with the sound of the Om. Continue breathing slowly and deeply while feeling appreciation and gratitude, and imagining your breath going in and out through your heart. Now, visualize this energy and begin to sense a radiant light around you that is permeating every cell of your body and resonating your heart chakra. In a moment, we'll begin to gently sound forth with the power of the Om. And as you do this, visualize the planet Earth as a holographic image floating in front of you. Imagine bathing the Earth in a healing field of light and love that you are creating through your sacred sound. Now, let us begin to make the heart sound of the Om, bringing the energy of global harmonization, peace, and healing to our beloved planet, Earth. Now, being in silence, visualizing all the light and love through sound that you have manifested, resonating and bringing to earth and yourself to a deep state of healing. And when you feel ready, open your eyes and know that you have contributed to personal and planetary healing. Mm. Mm.
Hello and welcome back. And I hope that you had as nearly fine an experience as me, because that was really blissful. And I'm really grateful for that. And thank you all for really co-creating it, because even though we may not be able to physically touch each other, we are one as a community, and it's just such a blessing.
And it's so knowing that there was a large group of people and we were all sounding together, really magnifying our intentions and our light
Yeah.
here at this time of the solstice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is it time for Q&A, my dear?
Well, I think so. In fact, Jonathan, we do have a question, and let me actually get that question. It's over here. And I'm going to have to put my glasses on to read it. But anyway, thank you all for co-creating that beautiful. I'm still sort of in that place of deep inner introspection. But anyway, we do have time for a question, and we had a question from a lovely person by the name of Sharon. And Jonathan, this is actually a two-part question. So anyway, I hope that's okay with you. So she has asked if you can describe your experience with using sound to create light, and what you believe the most important factors are in achieving this effect of using sound to create light. So,
Great question. And so the idea of using sound to create light, this was really one of the pivotal fundamental experiences that I ever had. And I can tell you when it happened, because I was down in the ancient Mayan temple in Palenque during the harmonic convergence in 1987, something around August 16th, maybe 17th. And there was a magician, a brujo, a shaman there who was also a guide, and he took this group of about half a dozen people with us to a underground temple that was just being unearthed. And somehow he knew about my interest in sound. So with the group, we entered this room that had just been excavated. He pointed at an archway right above us, and it said, "Make sound here," and he turned off his flashlight. And it was darker than I think I've ever been before. It was total pitch darkness. I don't know that I've ever been in a situation like that. And I began to make some tones. And as I began to make some tones, I really noticed a crazy phenomena because the room began to become illuminated. It was not as though he had turned on his flashlight again. It was like someone had taken a dimmer and just slowly adjusted the light just a little bit so we could make out the outlines of each other's, the other people there. And it was quite amazing. And then after a couple of minutes, I stopped making the sound. He turned the flashlight back on and we left. And afterwards, I talked with the other people and they had also experienced this phenomena. It really shifted and changed me. And in fact, in my book, Healing Sounds, I write about it and write about the fact that it seems to be, if you like, in the ancient mystical traditions, the initiates were supposed to be able to manifest their own light. And I have to assume that this may have happened through sound. And recently I was speaking with someone who's telling me that they had a similar experience. And in a shamanic experience in a totally different tradition, where the room became illuminated a little bit through the sounds. And then he suggested to me that, maybe this is how the really ancient people were able to do their cave drawings in total darkness. And there weren't, when they've examined those, they've tried to come up with ideas of how they used reflective light to get into these ancient caves because there wasn't like soot on the wall or whatnot from torches. And I thought about it. I said, that's very, very interesting. So once again, that experience, if you like, shifted and changed me. And that was a while ago. So what a great question. That was the first one. Yeah.
Wow. Jonathan, so what a
Yeah. So it was way
powerful
cool.
experience, and to share on the solstice energy,
Yeah.
where we get that little spark of light
Yeah.
in the dark. And the second part of that question
Yes.
is, what are the most important factors you believe are the most important factors in achieving an effect like this?
Well, I think it breaks down to our old friends, frequency plus intent, where you're getting a mechanical resonance through the vibration of the sounds. And I think this has to do with, as I suggested before, the pineal or pineal gland, and that the sounds that I was creating, these harmonically related sounds, will vibrate this area up here. And even the om, for example, is I can feel my forehead vibrating when that's happening. Your pineal is beginning to go. So you're getting that's one part, and also the aspect of the intentionality of doing that there. What are you vibrating? Why are you vibrating? So these get together. So if you like, frequency plus intent equals, if you like, manifestation or vocalization, plus visualization equals manifestations. I'd like to share that those are probably the two major phenomena that I perceive of as, being the ingredients that help, at least my experience of turning sound into light. And there's, of course, real quick phenomena called bioluminescence, which is a phenomena that exists in nature. And there's also something called crystalloluminescence, where if you take two crystals and you're in a totally darkened place and you rub them together, they're going to glow. It's crazy. And that's due to, like, if you like, a phenomena of the transduction of energy. I just wanted to share that with you. Wow, a lot of info in a really short amount of time, but I just wanted to deal with it because I think those are really important things.
Well, and Jonathan, we have just, I think, maybe 1 or 2 minutes left of our hour. And I do want to take this time to thank everyone for joining us tonight and just wishing everyone a most beautiful, glorious winter solstice, summer solstice if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, of course, everybody who has joined us tonight. Just my blessings of love and light through sound. And I also want to take this opportunity to mention that we are so grateful to Humanity's team and to Garth for providing the platform for our Sound Healers Association for Shaw, which is the oldest association, Sound Healing Association. And go and visit our Shaw website. And if you want to become a member, it would be wonderful. It's a great way to network with other sound healers. Our managing director in the series, Suzanne, has been with us for many years. She's fantastic. Will answer all your questions. And just, this has been such a beautiful moment to share. So thank you very much.
Oh, just great. And next month, January 26th, it's a Thursday, 7 o'clock, I believe is the time, and the subject is going to be planetary healing with sound. And the reason for that is because shortly after that, we have World Sound Healing Day. So this all flows together in a pretty coherent form. And we just give thanks again for everyone who's been with us. And we send you so much light and love through sound for not only the solstice, but for the entire forthcoming new year. So
And remember, we heal ourselves.
we heal the planet.
We heal the planet.
We heal ourselves.
So we just send all of you so many blessings of love and light through sound, and just much love and healing to everyone.
Thank you. We are so grateful for this wondrous community. Give thanks.
Happy solstice.
Bye-bye.